17 straight wins held by Silent Witness. The third, though, the Centenary Sprint Cup has Skyfield, of course, the Hong Kong Sprint winner last time. He's at the top of the book. Wellington has the cheek pieces on. Courier Wonder, he ran third last time in the Hong Kong Sprint. We've got Stronger. He's coming off a trial win over Resolute. Computer Patch goes from the 1,000 up to the 1,200 metres. And Super Wealthy and Master 8, they both make their Group 1 debuts. And Master 8, of course, having won all of his starts 5 in a row. So, Nick, we do have a look at the speed map first of all, and what does it tell us?
Well, it tells us that Courier Wonder certainly likes to go forward, and that's usually the case with him. He's drawn 7, though, so he's just one from the outside in this smaller field. Computer Patch also will be some pace in the race, and Master 8, he's caught out there a little bit on a limb, along with Hot King Prawn.
Yeah, he certainly is. I think Computer Patch will lead this a lot here. He's got that speed, whether he's got any stamina left at the end. Wellington really should get the perfect run. It does look tricky for Master 8. Skyfield, no doubt he'll be back doing what he tried to do last start in the International Sprint. He just got a saloon passage through. Managed to avoid all that trouble, so he'll be going back. But I think Computer Patch the likely leader here.
OK, so that's this year's race. The past winners, though, Tom, there they are on screen. Hot King Prawn back to try and win it again. This was his first Group 1 victory 12 months ago. It
was, and Zach Purton goes on board this time round. John Size, it's a race that he's dominated in the last 4 years, winning it, beat the clock with a grand horse he was, and of course DB Pinnon. Prior to that, Penophobia was able to win for Tony Cruz back in 2017. But yeah, Hot King Prawn got his first Group 1 victory here last season. Zach, 7 rides on Hot King Prawn for 6 wins and a placing. They haven't teamed up for a while, but they will do so again in race number 3. Skyfield, it was an action-packed and in some stages tragic Group 1 that he won last time, the Hong Kong Sprint. He'll be looking to make it back-to-back Group 1s, and the man that pilots Skyfield is Blake Shin, who had a chat with Nick Child at Trackwork.
Blake, Skyfield back for more Group 1 glory this weekend. How is the good horse?
Yeah, look, he's very well. You know, his training's been terrific after his last run. He spent some time in Chung Fa and he came back, and I galloped him on the grass and he had a nice trial, and I couldn't be happy with how he's going into the weekend. He feels in tip-top order.
Just to touch upon that trial first off, Blake, obviously a good trial, beat the stablemate Sky Darcy. He looked to be in top form in that. Did that go to plan? Were you and the team very happy with the trial?
Yeah, look, Casper was really happy, and I was really happy with the horse. You know, the 1,200 metre trials on the dirt, they can go quite slow, and they went slow in the trial, and he wanted to get on with the job a bit early, so I just had to contain him, but he come back underneath me, and, you know, he quickened down really nicely, had a bit in hand, and I was just wrapped with how he felt, and yeah, I'm looking forward to what he can do on the weekend.
And that gallop on the, I think it was the 18th of January, he galloped. I mean, to the sort of the untrained eye, that looked very good as well.
Yeah, Nick, he's going terrific. Like I say, he's an elite sprinter. I feel he's arguably one of the best in Hong Kong, and yeah, hopefully he can, you know, win this Group 1 on his merits on the weekend and prove that he's the best sprinter in Hong Kong.
Blake, he's been very lucky with the barriers. I mean, for a sprinter, you want to obviously go the shortest way round. He's drawn gate number 1 for the 6th time in his career. Small field, how do you envisage sort of the race playing out from the inside?
Yeah, it is an interesting race. You know, barrier 1, like for me, it's not ideal for a horse like Skyfield. You know, he likes to settle back. You've got to rely on pace, and you have to rely on trying to get out. So I'd like to draw middle, that would be perfect, and then bring him to the outside like we won that 1,400 metres at the back end of last season. That would be the perfect scenario. But barrier 1, like I said, we're relying on different variables to happen for us. But this race, I think they're going to go quick, and he's probably going to be in the last 3, and it's just a matter of trying to get out. But if it falls right for him, you know, he's got the capacity to sprint really quickly, and if it does fall right, I think he's going to go very close.
And just going back to the point you made about the 1,400 metres, is he a horse that's continuing to sort of mature nicely with age? I mean, he just seems to keep elevating his performances always.
He does. I still believe we haven't reached the ceiling with him. He's a quirky horse, and he's quite a rebellious type. And I think the more mature he gets, the more he's wanting to sort of come our way with his training and also his application to his racing. And that's just going to keep, enhancing his level, and I think he's got more upside to come.
Casper always described him, Nick, as a raw horse. He ran fourth at his debut at Happy Valley, but flew home with amazing sectionals, and he was always likely to develop into a Group 1 horse. He's now looking for back-to-back Group 1 victories. He
certainly is. Yeah, look, he's a super horse, isn't he? And the way he won the Hong Kong Sprint was super, really. And look, as Blake alluded to in that interview, he continues to progress, and they haven't reached the ceiling with him, Tom. So he's certainly one to watch, that's for sure.
Absolutely, and of course they tried those blinkers on him before the international sprint, and it was a complete disaster there at Sha Tin. Just got too keen and fired up, so it was a failed experiment there, but Casper got him right for the big day, and he prevailed, and I think he can do it again.
Absolutely, and his trial, as we saw in that replay, has been good. Now we're going to check out some of his opposition here, Tom. This is down the straight last time over the 1,000. This is the Bohemia Sprint Trophy, and you can't knock what Master 8's done, but he has to step up yet another level this week.
Yeah, it's a big step up. He was a Group 3 winner here last start of the Bohemia Sprint Trophy. He was up on the speed. You can see he's got the ears pinned back. He's fighting hard here. It's just barrier 8, I feel, Nick, that makes it a bit tricky for him, where he sort of ends up in the run. At small field, there's a big chance he can get caught wide.
Yeah, there certainly is. I mean, look, it's not going to be easy from where he's drawn, and also on the figures. I mean, he's got a little bit to find. Let's not forget he's rated only 95. He's taken on some elite sprinters here. So, look, it's going to be his toughest test, but he's a very good horse.
He's a profile graphic, Tom. He's not going to mind the step back to 1,200 metres, though.
No, because he's unbeaten in all of his runs over 1,200 metres, and when he has run over 1,200 metres, his last few he's had 5, 10 and 9, and he has been good enough to overcome barriers 10 and 9, so who's to say he can't overcome barrier 8 here?
We move on to the trial now of Wellington, Nick. Now, this is down the straight at Sha Tin. Golden 60s also in this trial. We'll focus on him later. Where do you see him at currently, Wellington?
Look, I see him as being able to bounce back, that's for sure. And I think on the back of this trial, look, it was very good. He wore the cheek pieces. He's going to wear them here for the first time as well. And I think if we see the real Wellington, Tom, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with in a race like this.
Yeah, complete forget for him last start. Got completely poleaxed around the turn with that incident. It is interesting that Richard Gibson has decided to change the gear up, but he seemed to trial well with those cheek pieces on there.
His career wonder, Tom, he's had the habit of running around badly in the straight at his last few starts. And could the Prawn be the forgotten horse in this field?
Well, he potentially could be. Hot King Prawn, winner of this race last year. Zach hasn't ridden him race day since he won his first 6, including 5 in a row, going back to June of 2018 there for Hot King Prawn. He's gone to the line really nicely there. On Courier Wonder, he was on the cusp of making it. Was between him and Hot King Prawn, the two stablemates. But just Courier Wonder, he's trialled up okay since, but he just wants to do a few things wrong late in his races.
And Stronger, Nick, this is him coming to the outside. He always trials well, but he might just be a half a level below the best Group 1 horses.
Yeah, and I think that's fair comment, Mark, for sure. I mean, he's had five goes. This will be his 5th go, sorry. He's had 4 goes at Group 1 level, and he's always come up short. 5th in the Hong Kong Sprint. Look, again, he's trialled very well here, but I do think he's just a little bit below what's required.
And that is him trialling away in front of Resolute, winning it by about 3 lengths. All right, Tom, the first of the Group 1s. I think you've given us the hint already with Skyfield.
Yeah, I don't think there's too much between them though, Mark, Skyfield and also Wellington, but I will side with the Skyfield here. Did it last start and did it really well. Wellington, complete forget for him last start, so he has to be definitely respected here, certainly with that trial. Master 8, he's drawn in that little bit of an awkward draw of barrier number 8. Big step up for him, but I think he can certainly handle it. And Hot King Prawn, last year's winner of the race, stayed on pretty gamely, I thought, behind Skyfield last start in the international sprint. 1, 2, 8 and 4.
Yeah, I'm going to take Tom on here with Wellington against Skyfield. Again, I agree fully. There's not a great deal between them, but I just feel that trial with the cheek pieces was very good. If he can find his best form, which he's more than capable of doing, he can win this. Skyfield will run his race for sure. He is the benchmark. He did win the Hong Kong Sprint. Courier Wonder, I feel, is still developing, as we've seen in his races, and he can certainly play a part. And Master 8, look, toughest test so far, but I think on all known form, he should be bang there. 2, 1, 3 and 8 for me.